Good evening, I'm Chet Huntley. This evening we present the first in a series of presidential debates in this 1960 election year. Vice President Richard Milhouse Nixon will be speaking tonight from the podium to my left. Vice President Nixon will, in the keeping with America's great political traditions, be speaking in the voice of someone else. In this case, he has adopted the great American poet Wallace Stevens. On the other side of our platform tonight is the young Massachusetts Senator John F. Kennedy, who will be making his points through the voice of the American poet William Carlos Williams, the man of Paterson, New Jersey. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Richard Nixon here. I'll be reading bits and pieces from the Necessary Angel, if you will.
Good evening, I am John F. Kennedy, and I will be making my points in the manner of the great man from Paterson.
Well, candidates, the first question really has to do with a philosophical position, if you will. Can you describe your relationship to the plight of ordinary Americans? We'll start with Mr. Nixon.
Chieftain, if you can, in as can, with henna hackles halt, or more precisely perhaps, one might say, thinking of the ordinary American, call the roller of big cigars, the muscular one, and bid him whip in kitchen cups concupiscent curds. That's what I said to Khrushchev. That's what I say to America. I say, let the lamp affix its beam. The only emperor is the emperor of ice cream.
Mr. Kennedy, your rebuttal.
The pure products of America go crazy. Now, I would like to assert to all of you, let me just say this about that. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. There are, of course, many other variants of this. We could say, for instance, this is just to say that I have eaten the plums that were in the ice box and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious. So sweet and so cold.
Mr. Nixon, would you like to talk about the perilous state of international relations?
You know, among 20 snowy mountains, the only thing moving was the eye of the blackbird. I think that pretty well sums up the current state of international relations.
Mr. Kennedy, how would you respond to Mr. Nixon's take on foreign relations?
An older woman eating plums, they taste good to her. They taste good. They taste good to her. Listen, I want to get off the domestic for a moment and just say that if I dance naked and grotesque before my mirror, and Kathleen and the baby are asleep, and the sun is a flame white disk in the horizon, who shall not say that I am the happy genius of my household? I think that pretty well covers the gambit, the landscape. I rest my case.
Thank you, my fellow Americans. Choose your poet carefully. Good night.